What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my first of 5 videos of me predicting every bowl game this season. I will be predicting around 8 or 9 bowl games in each video, and for my 5th and my last video, which will be sometime next week, that's when I will be predicting the New Year's 6 bowls, and I will also be predicting who I think will ultimately win the national title this year. But this is my first video of 5, and I will be predicting the first 9 games in this video. This is kind of just an appetizer video, nothing very exciting, but there's a couple games you may look forward to, depending on who your team is and how much you love college football. But before I get into this video, here's a reminder to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. We just hit 500 subscribers, and we're on the road to 1,000. So thanks for all the support you guys leave on this channel, I really do appreciate it. But like I said, subscribe to the channel and make sure those notifications are on, because we post daily college football videos. But without further ado, let's get into our first set of predictions. The first game of bowl season starts Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's between 6-6 Georgia Southern and 9-3 Ohio. This will be the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Ohio has had a pretty solid defense, so we'll see how they play against Georgia Southern's offense. That has also been pretty good. Georgia Southern are favorites in this game, but I do like this Ohio team, and Georgia Southern has lost 4 straight, so that does really play a factor. But it should be an interesting matchup between Ohio's defense and Georgia Southern's offense. And I do have Ohio winning the game 27-24. The next game is between Jayville State and Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Jayville State was not supposed to make a bowl game this year because of the rules regarding teams coming up from the FCS. They can't play in a conference championship or bowl game the first 2 years, but James Madison really fought against it. And because of the lack of 6-win teams, Jayville State has a bowl spot in the New Orleans Bowl Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The Raging Cajuns are usually a pretty solid Group of 5 team, and I don't normally bet against them, and I am going with them to beat Jayville State 31-27. Both teams are pretty similar though, and both quarterbacks have a very identical stat line. But give props to Jayville State, because although James Madison gets a lot of national attention, some people may seem to forget that this team exists, and is also a decent team themselves. I wouldn't say they're as good as James Madison, but they definitely deserve some recognition for the jump they've made, and they are 8-4 on the season. But yeah, I like picking Louisiana. They usually win games, but this should be a fun game regardless of the outcome, with 2 interesting teams playing. The next game is Miami, Ohio versus Appalachian State. This game will be played Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This game will be played in Orlando, Florida. Both these teams are solid, and this is a pretty even matchup and should be a battle. But I'm going to go with the underdog in this game, which is actually Miami, Ohio, surprisingly. I don't know, maybe they had a player opt out. I don't really get why they're not favored in this game. But I have Miami, Ohio winning it 24-21. But this team has had a really solid defense all year, and they've been rolling, and they won their conference, something Appalachian State could not do. I'm not very excited for these Group of 5 bowl games, but this one should be a fun one. And I'm a bit more excited for this game because I've watched both these teams play a little bit. And Miami, Ohio has held their last 5 opponents to 16 points or under, including a rematch with Toledo in the MAC championship, beating them 23-14. So analytics may not like Miami, Ohio to win this game, but I definitely like them to win this game. But Appalachian State is also a solid team, so this game definitely could go any way. This next game should be a fun one. How about New Mexico State versus Fresno State? New Mexico State finally being somewhat relevant for once. They even beat an SEC team this year. They didn't beat them, they absolutely destroyed Auburn, beating them 31-10. And then Auburn next week goes on to lose to themselves when playing Alabama when they should have won it. And don't ask how they lost to themselves, I just hope you guys get the point. But New Mexico State also was in a trash conference, so 10-4 may be overlooked, but this game will be played Saturday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the New Mexico Bowl, and New Mexico State will have home field advantage in this game. And I'm going to pick the underdogs to win this game. I have New Mexico State winning this game, 32-28. Does New Mexico State have what it takes to beat Fresno State? I honestly don't know, but Fresno State wasn't anything special this year, so I'm going with the home team to win this game outright, and maybe they'll get a well-deserving bowl game win. This next game should be a fun one. We got 8-5 Boise State versus 7-5 UCLA. A Boise State team that has been on the rise and a UCLA team that has been falling to the ground recently. Boise State was close to having their first season under 500 since the 1990s, which is really crazy if you ask me. Boise State has been consistently good for decades, but this year UCLA has had a lot of rumors about Chip Kelly getting fired, and the vibe at UCLA has been completely off. UCLA is coming off a blowout loss to California, but they've had weeks to prepare for this game against Boise State, so maybe they come out to play. But Boise State has a different head coach right now, and they've been playing like they're the best Group of 5 team lately. They blew out UNLV in the Mountain West Championship, and they've been winning games, but UCLA won't have Dante Moore in this game because he transferred out. But they should have quarterback Ethan Garbus, who is also a solid quarterback. This is the LA Bowl, and the game will be played Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and UCLA will have home field advantage in this game. UCLA are favorites in this game, but I'm going to go with the team that has been on the rise lately, and I have Boise State winning this game 31-21. Boise State should definitely be better next year, but I can't say the same thing about UCLA. I don't know what to expect for this team moving into the Super Big Ten. I was really high on this team, and I believed in Chip Kelly, but they have really struggled to take that next step, and they just lost their freshman quarterback, Dante Moore. And going into the Big Ten, I don't know how they're going to take that next step, so I'm not really high on this team's future anymore. The next game is California versus Texas Tech. This one should be a fun game. I know there's not any big-time matchups Saturday, and this is the last Saturday game, but there's still games I'm looking forward to, including this one. This game will be played Saturday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe this game will be played in Louisiana, so I guess Texas Tech will have home field advantage. But these teams are both 6-6, and I do like this California team better than I like Texas Tech. Texas Tech is just too streaky, and California has a pretty good offense, so I have California winning this game 35-24. Should be a fun night game. I could definitely see more points being scored in this game. The over-under is only at 58.5. I would expect it to be a little higher, maybe the lower 60s, but there seems to be a difference with these teams. California blew out the last team they played, and Texas Tech lost 57-7. I know they did play very different teams. Texas is definitely better than UCLA, but California has had more momentum heading into this game than Texas Tech has had. And Texas Tech unfortunately had a really down season after a lot of people expected them to compete in the Big 12 title race. But ultimately, they did not live up to expectations this year. But let's get off the Saturday slate of games and move on to the next game, which is the only game on Monday, and it's between Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. This game will be played Monday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Old Dominion will have home field advantage. The analytics like Western Kentucky to win this game, but Old Dominion is 2-point favorites in this game, so I guess it's kind of a flip-flop type of game. But I do agree with the ESPN analytics. I am picking Western Kentucky to win this game. I think their quarterback is pretty solid, and they also just have an all-around good offense. So I feel like Western Kentucky definitely has the advantage in this game. Even if I hardly know anything about these teams, my first 1 or 2 bowl game prediction videos are kind of going to be boring because they're bad group of 5 teams playing, or should I say average, because at least they did make a bowl game. But I do have Western Kentucky winning this game 33-28. The next game is one of the bowl games that are more lopsided and one team's favored to win the game. We have 8-4 UTSA playing 6-6 Marshall. This game will be played in Texas, and it will be the only Tuesday game, and it starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Kind of weird if you ask me what time this game is starting at. They have one bowl game that day and have it right before a lot of people's bedtimes, depending on how late you stay up. I don't see a lot of people watching this game, but I figure UTSA will definitely win this game, and I have them winning it 35-17 and covering the spread big time. UTSA's only conference loss was Tulane, but other than that, they've been really good, and they score a lot of points. UTSA is one of the better group of 5 teams in the country, and Marshall struggled to get 6 wins and got blown out by South Alabama, Appalachian State, and Coastal Carolina. So on paper, you would think Marshall has no shot, but we don't know that. These are 2 different teams from 2 different conferences, but people would probably debate that the American is definitely better than the Sun Belt. But UTSA is definitely the favorite in this game, so it'd probably be safer picking UTSA to win this. And for the last game of the video, the only game on Thursday, which is a game between South Florida and Syracuse. 2 teams that honestly don't deserve a bowl game because they were both very disappointing teams. Syracuse started this season 4-0, and I was very high on this team. I was thinking they'd possibly finish 8-4, maybe 9-3, and I was thinking they'd have a pretty solid season, but they definitely came down to earth, losing 5 straight and then having to sneak their way into a mediocre bowl game. And South Florida is just not good at all. They usually are a better group of 5 team, but not recently. But at least they had a close game with Alabama, so I guess that's a plus. But this is another one of those night games where you just wonder why they have a bowl game today. Why have one bowl game that day and have it be a night game? It's kind of weird, but I'm not judging. But Syracuse is the favorite in this game, and the analytics really likes this team to win the game. And I also think Syracuse wins this game 27-17. And let's be real, both of these teams are pretty bad, but Syracuse plays tougher competition, and Syracuse should win this game for sure. But I guess South Florida has an upside with this game being played in their home state of Florida, so at least they have home field advantage. But I could care less who wins this game. But I might end up watching this game anyway, so we'll see. But anyways, that is going to do it for the video. Nothing very exciting about this video. This is just like the week 0 of college football. It's football, but we aren't quite into the season yet. So these are basically just average bowl games in my first video. But my next video should be a little bit better because there's more exciting bowl games coming up. And it's going to get better as the videos go along. And this is only the first of 5 videos. But if you stayed throughout the whole video, thanks for watching and be sure to like the video. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as you do really help out with the algorithm. And I did just hit 500 subs, and we are on the road to 1,000 subs. So if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. But also, be sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss my uploads, because we post daily college football videos. But anyways, that's going to do it, guys, and peace out.